So, one thing I've always been curious about is how much do UFC fighters get paid for their likeness being used in these video games? And lucky for us, Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson uploaded a video just 3 days ago where he actually gives us the exact number of how much he has been paid for his likeness to be used in the UFC games, and he actually also revealed how they determine how much the fighters get paid for their likeness being used, which is another question I always had. Like how do they determine who gets what? And he really explains that. Now, before we get to his video where he gives the exact numbers, it wasn't always like that. John Fitch, I don't know if you guys remember, John Fitch was actually fired from the UFC specifically because he refused to give away his license. He refused to sign away his license. And fighters didn't used to get paid for that. Right here. This is John Fitch talking about the whole entire thing.
Well, this was long time. This
Allegedly.
was 2008.
Oh
It's
wow.
way back. This is when they first started to dig all the hooks of the monopoly in, right? Forcing guys, to sign over their identity, their likeness, their name, their image forever for no money. That was the deal for the video game agreement. You were supposed to just be happy to be lucky enough to get a chance to be in the video game. That was how it was sold. Um, now they're getting paid a little bit, but it's still like it's peanuts compared to what they should be getting. If you look at other professional sports, those athletes are getting percentages of the sales of the games. They're not getting a small lump payoff. Just keep them quiet.
And around this time,
I don't
you
know.
were a free agent, or was this like in between your time going to Bellator, or like was this ongoing where they were pressuring you into
No,
signing these
no.
agreements?
This is after I fought GSP for the welterweight title. Right, I was 8-0 in the UFC. I lost the decision GSP, and then I refused to sign the video game agreement, so they cut me. They cut me from the promotion, and they strong armed me because I wasn't going to stay with them. I was going to go to Strikeforce, so they threatened to fire all of my teammates.
So this man gets fired specifically because he refused to sign away his likeness forever. And I mean, I don't think you can really blame the man for not wanting to sign away his likeness forever and not get paid for it. The fighters should be able to say, look, without us as the fighters, the video game will not exist. So you should be giving us a percentage. At least pay us something. I don't know about a percentage of the game sales in total, but like you should definitely give us something for being in the video game. So I completely understand John Fitch. Good news is fighters are now being paid. Now he says it's peanuts. So let's go listen to Demetrious Johnson and let's see what DJ himself has been paid.
The second thing they do is you sign off an agreement of your likeness. Now, when you sign this likeness agreement, there is no money in it whatsoever. Even at this time, I'm happy that I'm able to be in the video game. Now, the third step, one day I'm at home, I'm playing video games, and I get an email stating that, hey, since your likeness is being used a lot in the video game, we are sending you a check. Now, the very first check I got for being in the UFC video game was $25,000. Now, a lot of you guys are like, that was it? Guys, think about this. $25,000 to just be in a video game. I don't think Ryu has ever got a check for $25,000. Let that sink in, boys. $25,000 for not getting punched in the face. $25,000 for just being in a video game. What you people love using me as a character. So it was ecstatic. Now, how do they dictate how much money you're gonna get paid? I can't dictate it. You guys actually dictate how much I get paid by how often you guys use me in the game. Now, when
I did not know that, and that is very, very interesting. So pretty much the more you use a fighter in the game, the more money they make. What happens, as he's going to explain right there, is every single time that you use a character in the game, EA has a database where they keep track of how many people are using fighters, and this is including offline as well. When we were in Vancouver, they were telling us about these like data that they have a lot of it. How many people are using what fighter, how many times the fighter is winning, in what way the fighter is winning their fights most of the time. They have all of these things recorded, and according to him, that is what determines how much he gets paid. And dude, $25,000, dude, for pretty much just doing nothing is good. You wake up and boom, 25K in your account. Shit, sign me up.
And you log onto your game, let's say you play on offline mode or you play online mode, each character you pick, it does a little ticker. It sends the data to the big mainframe computer, and that's how they keep track of it. They do it for Street Fighter 6, they do it for Escape from Tarkov, they do it for all the games out there because they want to track to see what character is being played the most and what game modes they like the most. So they're always tracking your data and keeping all the analytics and be able to put it together. So that's how it dictates how much money your boy gets. So I think that's fair. It's based on the popularity of the character in the game. So if everybody and their mom keeps playing me, then I will get a bigger check. Now let's fast forward. So the next one that came out was UFC 3. And for this bad boy, the next check that I ended up getting was $12,500. Now,
still good.
It's a little bit lower, but I was okay with that because the time frame of the checks were coming every, year or quarter. Wasn't too worried about it because once again, it's free money just coming to me. Now, after I did something, I think it was after my Ray Borg fight, they offered me the opportunity to be on the front cover. And that's when they came out with the Icon Edition.
Yeah, I remember
with me
that.
On the front, it says "Become the GOAT." So in order for me to be on the cover, I signed an agreement to be able to be on the front cover. And with me signing to be on the front cover, I got a whopping $10,000. $10,000 to be on the front cover, and it's pretty dope. The Icon Edition. I loved every bit of it. Let's fast forward. UFC 4 comes out. I leave the UFC. I'm not part of the company anymore, but my character is still in the game, and you guys are playing as my character.
Yeah.
Now, the next check I get in the mail is another whopping $25,000 for being in the game.
Dope.
And it's absolutely amazing because to me, it's something where your likeness is being used. And I think it's cool that the UFC or EA keeps on paying the athletes for their likeness, and if people are using me, so the data is pretty awesome. Now, after all that, from the first iteration of me being in the game in 2014 all the way to 2024, the total money I have made is a whopping $72,000 and $500, a little change.
That is incredible, bro. $72,500 for just being in the video game. Essentially free money. Essentially free. Of course, you can't really say it's free money because all of his accomplishments, which led to him being in the UFC, which led to him being in the video game, he put in all that work. I'm not saying he didn't do all that work, but like as he put it, it's 72K of not getting punched in the face, not doing anything. It's just boom. There's your money for being in the game. Hey, I'm so happy for these guys, bro. Really, really glad. Makes me wonder how much the more popular fighters are actually making. Someone like, I'm sure Conor has been used. Jesus Christ. I don't even want to think about how many times Conor McGregor has been used in this game. Conor, John Jones, someone like Israel. These guys get used a ton. So, and then I, kind of curious how much the fight, I guess, if it's a fighter that literally doesn't get used at all, do they just not get a check whatsoever? Or is there like a baseline, Still so many questions to be answered, but really, really grateful that Demetrious Johnson took time out to make this video and give us quite a lot of information to go off of. So really appreciate that. If you are a fan of Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson, just like I am, and you want this man to get an even bigger check for UFC 5, then I guess you better hop on and start playing as many matches as possible with this man so we can get him a bigger check. We gotta try to get him something bigger than 25K next time. For UFC 5, that should be, yeah. I think he should get that. He should get that. Last thing, I am trying to work with Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. I just made that video with Steven Thompson, and I am trying to do something with DJ. I already know what I want to. Of course, there's going to be a private class with them, of course. So, hit your boy up for me, man. Don't bother him, but just, ping him here and there. Hey, respond to Marshall, because I've left a few messages now. Hey, respond to Marshall, mine. I'll come to wherever you are, bro. Wherever you are, bro, I'll fly over there, and I'd love to do a private class with you. Just 1 hour of your time, bro. All I ask. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to DJ for making this video, answering a very, very curious question that I'm pretty sure a lot of us had. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys are amazing. This one's for my night owls. I'll see you boys tomorrow. Peace out. Have a good night.